Hey guys, how's it going? And hey, welcome back. I'm going to start a new series of videos. Thought I'd start with the Gibson Les Paul. And this is my 2018 that I've customized. And the new series is about, obviously you've read the first title, things I don't like about my Gibson Les Paul. And I'm going to go through all my guitars of things that I actually don't like about them. And thought you might find that kind of series of videos interesting. And we're not going to just pick on the guitars. We're also going to pick on the other gear as well. So amps, pedal board, you know, you get the idea. So let's get started with the things I don't like about my Gibson Les Paul. Well, when I first bought it, the first thing I didn't even like about it even before I ordered it to have it brought into the store, because they didn't have one in stock during Gibson month at my store, but they did have a brand spanking new one in stock at one of the other stores, so we had it transferred, was the chrome hardware. I am not a chrome fanatic. I do believe that there are some guitars, because of color, obviously, chrome would be suitable, gold would not. But otherwise, yeah, if it looks like something that should probably have gold on it and gold would look better, then I'm definitely down, okay? Now, it did cost me a lot of money for some of these upgrade parts because I went with top-end stuff. I didn't, you know, cherry-pick the medium grade or low-grade parts. I went top-end because I figure, you know, if I'm going to spend almost $2,000 on a guitar, yeah, I'm going to spend some really good money and treat her right to some nice parts. Anyways, so that was one of the things that I don't like about it, was the actual chrome hardware. The other part about the chrome hardware was I did not like the kidney style tuning keys. So of course we went for the tulip design, which is called other things as well. Of course the plastic knobs, didn't like those. They had to go. Plastic does not belong near a guitar. I'm sorry, plastic knobs are stupid, they're ridiculous, they're cheap, and they tend to fly off a lot, especially if you have push-pull pots, which this one has both pickups at least that are push-pull. When you get into like a custom Les Paul from Epiphone or Gibson, you'll have a third selection on one of your tone knobs called phase reversal, okay, where it reverses the phase or polarity of the pickups. It's quite the cool feature, by the way, and very, very noticeable, right? Now, we have 57 Classic and Classic Plus in this guitar with the push-pull system, of course. When we listen to it as a humbucker, we turn the volume up first. Sounds great. When we pull it, subtle difference in the tone. So it really doesn't make that much difference. But if we go into a clean channel, this is where we notice it more. Humbucker. Single coil. It also gets pretty muddy too, which kind of, you know. The neck, of course. Coil. Not quite as muddy, but it's cleaner at least. Somewhat. So, not the best idea, I think, from Gibson's part to put a coil tapping or coil splitting feature into the Les Paul, because it just doesn't work right. You know what I mean? They could have made it so that when you switched off to the single coil, it was much more brighter, because the idea is to emulate Tele and Strat type pickup sounds, right, with all this coil tapping stuff that everybody's doing. And well, Gibson just didn't do it very well. Now, the other thing I really still don't like about this guitar is the nut. Now, when they cut the nut, they did cut it for 9/46, right? Well, yes and no. The three bottom strings, of course, are still fine even with 10s. Because I had to switch to 10s, I'll explain that. But the E, A, and, well, the D is kind of borderline, you know, it's almost there. But the E and the A are definitely not cut deep enough. The problem, though, is because of the design format of the guitar, and of course it is a glued neck or set neck, so you can't adjust the neck to shim it. The way they have the nut cut, you don't have the space to get that string to sink in deep enough properly, or your guitar's going to turn into a complete buzz bag, right? Especially up at the 1st fret, and it'd probably go from the 1st to maybe the 7th, where it's just virtually going to be touching the frets if you try to lower E, A, and D properly. So that's a bit of a, I think, a shaping and cutting problem with the nut itself. So I think what's happened is on the bottom end, they just took too much off the bottom, and it's kind of like that was the dumb move, because you're supposed to leave that alone and you slice down the tops until the strings are sitting correct height, and then you shave down the top so that the strings, by the time they're all there, flush where they should be, then you're okay at that point, because you don't want to have the strings sunk under into the slots where the slots are actually deeper above the strings. You want the strings to sit completely flush from the top of the string to the top of the nut, so when you run your finger across, you feel like virtually nothing. And so yeah, Gibson can't cut a nut if their life depended on it. However, at least Epiphone can, and many other companies. Gibson just can't do it for some reason. And every Gibson I've played around with, acoustic or electric, they're all the same. So it's kind of like, well, maybe Gibson will get it right someday, maybe. Anyway, so those are kind of some of the things I don't like. One of the other things I'm not fond of, I can't say I don't like it, is the finish. It's a glossy finish, right? I don't mind the gloss. But they use nitrocellulose on this guitar, and nitrocellulose does not ever cure 100%. There's always some malleability to it or elasticity to it, and this makes it very problematic when trying to get a proper guitar hook. You have to find a nitro-friendly hook if you're hanging on the wall. Good luck with that, because even though the hook I bought is supposed to be nitro-friendly, turns out it's not, and it has done some bit of finish gulling in here on both sides. Now, even though I don't play up there, it doesn't bother me, but it still bothers me the fact that if it was not for the fact that they use nitro, that problem would not be there, okay? And I've also heard of a number of horror stories about guys on Facebook groups with Gibsons and other guitars too with a nitro cellulose finish. They put them on a guitar stand. Guitar stand, apparently nitro friendly. I've never actually seen a guitar stand listed as nitro friendly, so I don't know where they get the idea that it is, but it's possible, I suppose. I don't know. But any of the stands I have, I'll guarantee you, they're not nitro friendly. No stand I've come across is. So anyways, the nightmare was, you know, the guy's using a stand, a regular stand for the floor, and of course it's over time worn like a little pocket thing into his neck, and there's no way to get that out other than to strip the entire neck down and redo it. And it's like, that's going to be for a very uneven finish. And yeah, nitro spraying, real tricky business, okay? It's not like clear coat for a car. It's very delicate and very precision that you have to be, you know, spray stroking down that area in order to avoid real big problems from happening. So you're better off to strip the entire finish off the guitar down to pure wood and then respray. In which case, if you're going to go through that trouble, put like a polyester or polyurethane, polyurethane type coat on, something that is not going to do that kind of a problem, right? And but yeah, nitro, definitely not a cool thing, Gibson. But other than that, I do love the guitar. The pickups, I think, need to be lowered more so. I have them set to Gibson specs, and although the sound is really good, it could be a lot better, you know what I mean? And because I know these 57s do have a long history to them, and they're supposed to be really good pickups, but yeah, I'm not finding the goodness in the sense of what some people are talking about. Maybe that's because I need to lower the pickup height, and then I can get them to brighten up a bit more. But otherwise, yeah, if you like some heavy distortion and some throaty stuff, these pickups can definitely do that, that's for sure. But yeah, so I think that pretty much does it for that. But otherwise, yeah, I love my Gibson. I still have 2 more upgrades to go, and that's my back covers. These are going to come off and get replaced with either brass or gold-plated metal covers. Because, hey, you know, I got to finish it off eventually. The other thing, yes, one more thing I don't like about any Gibson. the tuning stability issue, right? This Gibson definitely has the tuning stability disease, so a string bottler does help with that quite a lot. I can bend up 2.5 steps on D and G and they'll stay in. And I can do it several times before they actually start to fall out. So a string bottler is a good thing, but you shouldn't have to have a band-aid to fix what the manufacturer could have fixed eons ago when they first invented the series of the Les Pauls that have tuning issues, which, come to think of it, they all do. Even the SG does, the Les Pauls. So back rake is not where the problem is so much for the tuning stability. It's the width of the headstock, and it's so wide that the D and G are kind of like out like this, and they almost touch your A and B strings, right? So they're, you know what it's like. So Epiphone actually corrected a lot of that issue by narrowing the headstock, and of course, even though Epiphone is not allowed to copy the Gibson headstock itself, thank God, they at least thought outside the box with their design and squished everything in enough that we don't have that problem with the Epiphones. At least I've never experienced the problem. I even tried to use a string bottler thinking automatically, oh, it's a Gibson product because it's Epiphone owned by Gibson. I'm going to have issues. Well, actually the string bottler went against me, not for me, right? So I took it off and the guitars stay in tune fine. So none of my Epiphone guitars need or are ever going to see a string bottler. Did it once and didn't need it. Turned out it was actually a worse thing to do, not better. So the stability is good. And like I said, Epiphone can cut nuts, so you know, I don't know why Gibson can't. But that's the end of this video. Let me know what you like or don't like about your Gibson guitar if you happen to have one, and what is it that you do have. This is the 2018 Les Paul Studio by Gibson, so let us know what you got in the comments below, what you think and feel about it, any issues you've run across, that sort of deal. And yeah, that's it. So catch you on the next one. See ya.